Hey everyone, today is one of my favorite times of the year with MakseLife and it is release time. I have been a MakseLife fan since the very beginning. I was actually on the review crew for the very first year and I have done it ever since. This is actually one of the only planners in my entire life that I've stuck with. I did planning in this planner, in my 2020 planner for almost, I think I only skipped like 2 weeks that entire year. I've never done that in my life until this planner. And I made some huge changes because of this system and the way that it works. I also used it in 2021, almost the entire year. And then in 2022, I've been just a mess. So I've been using it off and on and other planners off and on and trying to find my way, and I just feel the tug to come back to MakseLife, and I still don't totally have my planner lineup ready, but I'm pretty sure it's going to include MakseLife. I just can't decide in what fashion. I'll talk more about it. This, which is one of their flagship planners, is definitely a contender for my weekly. I'm also thinking about one other thing. I'll talk more about it. Let's just get into the flagship. I'm going to start off with this because this is the main event and I know it's what 90% of you are here to see inside of this. So one of the big changes this year is that not everyone is getting the same box. It depends on the cover that you get. So my box has these pretty little sunburst designs on it, and it coordinates with the planner that's inside. So depending on the cover that you choose, you'll get a different box. I love my box. I think it's super cute. It's still that really high quality, very similar to past years. It's a really sturdy storage box that you can keep different things. I actually keep my covers from past MakseLife boxes, or from past MakseLife planners in here. If I don't keep the planner, I keep the cover because you can switch them out. They're not marketed as interchangeable, but I think these wire bindings are actually really easy to change, so I do keep mine just in case. Anyway, let's break it open and I will show you the cover that I chose. This was I usually don't have that hard of a time choosing covers. There's usually one that really stands out to me. That yellow from the first year is still probably my favorite cover of all time, but I don't know. This year's covers were really good, and there were 3 that I was just struggling between. So the cover I chose this year is one of the artist series. It's by Honey Creative and it is called Lilac Chevron. Isn't this gorgeous? There was something about this that just spoke to me. 2022 has been a really rough year for me in a lot of ways. Exciting year. I graduated from nursing school. I started my nursing job. I'm a labor and delivery nurse. And I mean, I had so many big things happen this year. But it also has been a total stretch year for me as well. Really hard things too. There was something about the peaceful colors and kind of peaceful design of this planner that just drew me to it. And I know it's a chevron, but to me it was like an arrow pointing down and telling me to slow down. And I know I'm totally reading into this. I felt like it was telling me to slow down and to embrace the moment and to live in peace and harmony. I know I'm totally reading into it, and that's not anything that they were trying to say with this probably, but to me it was saying that, and I just felt so drawn to it. They also have a couple other covers available. One is by Cindy from Llama Letters and it's called Blackberry Fields. Beautiful lilac color with some kind of doodle florals on the front. I almost got that one. It's very cute. And then they have a charcoal color, which is really masculine or gender neutral, and it has silver coil here. Their last one is a watercolor. I think it's called Watercolor Sunrise, and it has a beautiful quote on the front that says, I don't have it in front of me, but it's something to the effect of, there is a past version of yourself that is incredibly proud of where you are right now. So it's said much more eloquently probably than I just said it, but I love the sentiment there. And I actually almost got that one as well because that also speaks to me, and the peaceful like watercolor was really beautiful. But anyway, it was a hard decision. I obviously went with this one and I love it. I'm going to be doing a lot of comparisons to last year's book compared to this year's book. We're going to go back and forth. That is what I love in a review. I want to see the changes that have been made and maybe some of the things that were wrong with last year's or that I didn't love about last year's that have been totally upgraded in this year's. Really, MakseLife does an incredible job every year, and there's not ever like major problems with anything because they're so focused on having super high quality materials. But they did make some really good upgrades that I am totally in love with. One of the big changes is this beautiful coil. So I actually like the antique look of their old coils. They've gone through 3 different versions now, and this I think is definitely the best. This is a very neutral gold. It's not very yellow. It's definitely not brassy. It seriously just sits right in the middle. It feels a little thinner than last year's, but still just as like durable. Let me pull out last year's and then the year before so you can kind of see the different changes that they made. Last year's was a very almost orangey colored copper. I liked it. It was matte. This year's is a little less matte, but it's not like super glossy either. So it was just super orange compared. If you can tell, I mean, you can totally see a difference there. The year before was the same as their first year. They had it was brassy too, but it wasn't as orange. I don't know if you can tell the difference between those two. This one looks a little bit more antique-y. And this year they went with a much more neutral color gold, which I love. Love this upgrade. Last year's probably my least favorite. And then I really liked the first 2 years, this like coppery. Can you tell the 3 different colors there? Now we're gonna dive into the inside. They still have the same strap. I don't usually use the strap, and I will always just like hook it onto the back page just to get it out of the way. But it is there, and it's nice when you're traveling or putting it into a purse. I'm gonna go, oh, here you go. Here's the reason that it coordinates with the planner. The inside will match your box. Isn't that cute? I'm going to zoom you in just a little bit, and we're going to go page by page comparison to last year's version. One of the great things about the MakseLife is it has a lot of really great instruction. Sierra is a life coach, and she took what she learned from life coaching and put it into a planner. So you're really coached throughout this planner on how to set goals, how to create your best life, how to become the best version of yourself you can be. And I love that she does that. One thing that I recently did is I signed up with a life coach. I just started this last week. And so I'm really excited about using MakseLife this year because I feel like it will go so well with my coaching. I've never done this before. I've never done therapy before. I've never done anything like this, so it's really scary. I've done 2 sessions with her, an initial session, and then after I signed up we had our first session this last week, and it's a little bit scary for me, but I'm really excited. Okay, so here you can see the name page for each of the books. You can also see a difference in the color of tabs. Last year's tabs had definitely more blue tones to it, and this year it's a much more neutral gray, which, I mean, I loved them both. There is not like a huge difference in either one of those, but I think I prefer the neutral a little bit more. Another thing I've noticed in this planner is that a lot of the text in this, a lot of the fonts are a little bit bigger, a little bit bolder and easier to read. Okay, now we're gonna start with the instruction pages. These have been completely updated aesthetically. The content, however, feels very similar to past years, so the things we know and love are pretty much staying the same in this book, which I'm very grateful for, but it is way easier to read, way prettier to look at. I'm gonna flip you through here. If there's any like way significant changes, I'll show you compared to last year. For the most part, the fonts are just a little bit bigger. It's laid out a little bit more, I don't know, just easier on the eye. You can see the font last year compared to the font this year. And I think that it feels like just higher quality, better graphic design, and it's beautiful. I love how she added boxes. It's not read like a textbook like it was last year. Last year it was just a lot of words, and And I always would go through it and I'd highlight it and mark it up because I loved the words in it. But this is way easier to read and kind of sort through the different information. And I love the teal color that she's kind of used throughout this. Here is the compass assessment. This is a huge part of the MakseLife system. This is where you score yourself to kind of figure out where your focus needs to be for the year. As you score, these are the different life areas, and you'll score yourself using this page. These are just little quizzes or little statements, and you score yourself 1 to 10 on each of those, and then use that to fill in this compass assessment. And then looking at it, you can see this little example. This person can see immediately that they are lower in health and wellness and physical environment than they are in personal or in financial. And those can be areas where they maybe set more goals or put more focus in those areas. It's probably the only page in the whole planner that I like last year's better. I think the compass assessment should be bigger. This is such a big part of assessing ourselves that I visually want to see it bigger. You can also see, compared to last year, that the colors are more subdued. That was a conscious choice that the MakseLife team made to make this a little bit more gender neutral. It's not quite as colorful as it was last year. I love color, and so I'm drawn to this one more than this one, but I also love that they are conscious about the people who want to use their system and trying to make it a little bit more neutral for everyone so that it's something that everyone can use. But I do wish the size was bigger because this is something that I visually like to look at and see, and I feel like when it's a bigger circle, you can just visualize the needs a little bit better. So it's something that I feel like is not that big of a deal, but probably the only thing in here that I would critique as I like last year's better. This, like I said, is where you're gonna score yourself for the life compass. Here is where you write intentions for the year and set up a word of the year. I love doing word of the years. I set one every year. I feel like it's just something that motivates me in my focus for the year. I used the same word for 2 years in a row because I loved it so much and it meant so much to me. It was steadfast. And then last year the word was connect. I have no idea what my word is going to be for 2023, but I am feeling like I need something to do with slowing down and peace. And I love to connect because after 2 years of nursing school and just running a crazy business and like doing all of the things that I did, I felt like connection was what I needed with my family and with God and with all, like you can go back to last year and hear about my word of the year, but this year I just don't know. I don't know. I'm going to work on it. So here is where Sierra talks about setting goals. And she gives some really great tips. I always love reading her tips every year. And how she talks about that you can review your goals and remove your goals and make changes to them to, based on where your life is right now. And so this is where she teaches you to write goals and how to write effective goals. So instead of saying something like, get rid of clutter, you would put clean my garage this weekend because that's measurable. It's something that it's achievable. Instead of writing exercise more, you would put something that you could know if you've achieved it, like I'm going to go to the gym 3 times this week. So you can read more through that, but I love it. She also talks about her 3 types of goals: stretch goals, progress goals, and maintenance goals. Stretch goals are big things, like maybe me going back to nursing school was, for sure, that was a stretch goal. It was something that was a huge, huge jump and leap of faith and so much work. And I couldn't have done that with like 10 of those. I couldn't have 10 of those. So she says that 1 to 3 stretch goals a year is probably what you should focus on. The next ones are progress goals. So this is where you're going to spend the majority of your time. And these are action steps to take you from where you are to where you want to be. So they're kind of like your basic goals, that things that you want to change in your life. And then maintenance goals are things that we're currently doing that we want to continue doing, whether that's like drinking 100 ounces of water a day or, you want to continue working out, or you want to continue your reading that you do every night. Those are things that you currently have as a habit that you don't want to let go of. So you can read more about it there. She describes it better. She also talks about on this page about setting annual goals, monthly goals, weekly goals, and how you take your big annual goals, break them down into monthly, and then break those down into weekly steps. And then she talks about the importance of reflecting weekly. This is something I struggle with, and I know when I do it that my life is just seems like it goes a little bit better. My goals feel like they go a little bit better. And she has 5 different questions that she prompts you to ask yourself each week, and you can read about those here. It's like, what are your wins, what worked, what didn't work, what changes, adjustments should I be making, those kind of things. Another thing that I love that she added in, I think last year she added this in, these are different things to consider when you're writing your goals for the different areas of life. So I struggled with personal goals. I remember that was one of my lower areas, and I didn't even know what it meant. Like, I didn't know what personal goals even would entail. And I love to be able to look over here and say, a personal goal could have something to do with a sense of community. Like, maybe I need to focus on making friends, or maybe I need alone time. Maybe I need a little bit of time to myself, or time when mental stimulation. Like, maybe I need to be reading, I could set goals about reading books each month, or peace, happiness, confidence, those sorts. It just prompts you to consider things that you might want to adjust in those different areas of life. And I love this page. This is just a blank space, and she says it's a place to mind map ideas, dreams for the coming year. I generally use this when I'm looking at my goals, to kind of map out how I want to accomplish them. Or one year I put one of my stretch goals in here, and it was like nursing school. And then I talked about the steps that I needed to finish the year off strong and pass the NCLEX. And I talked about the different steps that I need to take to achieve that. Here's where you're going to be setting your annual goals. It's a lot of space for each one. You don't have to fill this entire thing out. Sometimes I only have one goal in a section that I want to work on that year, but there are 8 areas of life, and so you have 8 half-page spaces to fill out. And here's a vision board. I struggle with vision boards a lot, but these past couple years that I've done it, they're some of my favorite pages to look back on. And then more goal setting quick tips. Okay, so there are the instruction pages. For the most part, the content is the same, but it's just way prettier. The tabs feel pretty much the same. They are a different color gray, like I said, but the pages here are a little different. I loved last year's with the like rainbow quotes that they had, and these are also really nice, but just a little bit more neutral. They have their new little logo, the Life Compass logo, and their quotes are just in gray. Do it scared. I think most of these quotes are coming from Sierra. Learn to rest, not quit. When you feel your best, you do your best. Find your fire. Own your story. Enjoy the journey. Your mindset is your superpower. And stay curious. Invest in your future self. I love the blank slate here, and you could use it for adding some pictures in from the month, which I might do that. You could also use this to mind map some of your goals that you're going to set for your monthly goals. If you want to do like some sort of mind map or vision board for the month, I think that would be kind of cool. Another big change that they have this year is they changed the colors of the months a little bit. In the past, the colors haven't totally coincided with the season, and now I feel like they do a much better job at matching the season. So let's go through some of the last year. They had a little bit of printing. Like, if you notice, some of the left and right pages weren't matching. Like here, this is blue and this is more gray. So I'm not sure what is these dots on this side are a different color than the dots on this side. This year, they don't have that issue at all. But I also don't know what was intended to go here. If it's the blue, that's what we have. That's the same. If it's the gray, I don't know if you can even tell, but these are gray and these are blue. So anyway, January is blue. February is the red, which is very nice. Last year, the February was this teal. And obviously not a ton of colors, so you could still keep it pretty neutral if you want. March is green, and March was green last year as well. April is gray, and April was also gray last year. May is now yellow, and it was last year as well. So not too many changes, but you can tell that the yellow is different. So this was a much brighter yellow than this year's yellow. I don't know if you can tell. Really, their colors have never been like way super colorful. She's always been kind of a neutral planner. June this year is this teal, and last year June was orange. July is now the blue, and last year July was red. Either one of those works. August is purple in here, and August is, so the new one is purple. The old one, this is one of those pages that had two colors. It was like blue on this page and purple on this page. So I'm not sure what August was supposed to be this year, but next year it's purple. September is gray, and last year September was blue and gray. It's another one of those ones that had two colors. October this year is orange, and last year was teal. November is now teal, and November last year was green. And then December is red, and December last year was gray. So those are some of the color changes that they've made to the monthly. I really love seasonal colors, and I appreciate that they've made an effort, but it's still super neutral. So if you don't want to follow the color scheme, it's way easy to cover up or to ignore. The goal pages are very similar to last year. They haven't changed that much. The only thing that has changed are the colors are a little bit more subdued. They may not even be noticeable to the average person. I'll show you here. So here's last year's compared to this year's. You can see that the purple is a much more neutral purple here. It's a more red purple last year. Everything else is just a little bit more subdued. These colors look very similar. It's just a little bit more subdued. I'm not sure that I've been color correcting as a job for 10 years. I'm not sure if I would have noticed if I hadn't been holding them up next to each other. The next page, this is intended for your weekly reflection. I love that she doesn't have the title up here anymore like she had the first year, and it just kind of gives you an open space. She does put up here the prompts for the weekly reflection questions if you want to use them. And then down here you have a tip for the week. So it talks about planning ahead, dedicating 10 to 15 minutes a week to set your goals. So again, these pages are very similar to last year as well, except for the more subdued colors. A big change that they've made this year is that there are no color on the weekly pages. They're completely gray and white and black. So you won't have, last year on the months that it was like a red month, these dots here and the words would be in the color of the month. And it was still super neutral and easy to cover up. But this year, every week is just neutral, which I know a lot of people are super excited about. I chose the vertical layout. This is my favorite layout in a planner, I think, in lists and separating the days into times. And so I love vertical planning. The layout, however, is completely the same as last year. So if you loved this planner, you don't need to worry about any changes being made in the vertical or the horizontal. This is what a horizontal page looks like. I love their horizontal. This would be great for journaling. I've actually thought about using a horizontal for my life coaching that I'm doing for the next 6 months. I signed up for a 6-month coach. So I thought about taking notes in a horizontal for our different meetings each week, but I can't decide because I really, really love vertical planning. So if you're unfamiliar with the MakseLife planner, you have a place for your monthly goals, and then you take those monthly goals and each week you separate them into weekly goals, and then you can take those weekly goals and write them into daily habits. So you can kind of just break your goals down into workable things to really accomplish them. And so you have that every week. You have a place to reflect on your goals and to set new weekly goals. And that is what it looks like. It's a pretty simple planner. At the end of the month, you have your monthly reflections where you look back on the month, see changes that need to be made, or wins that you've had that month, and kind of rate your satisfaction. At the end of every quarter, you actually are able to score yourself on that quarterly compass. I believe on her website she has the assessment, and you can print that out and reassess yourself there, or you can just use how you feel in each of these categories and compare the different quarters and how you are doing each month. So every quarter there's another quarterly assessment. At the end of the book, you have an extra section where you have a year at a glance for 2023 and then also 2024, and then tons of really great notes pages. The pocket in the back is exactly the same as it was last year, and it's a really high quality coated cardstock. And then you have the same stickers that you had last year, just in a little bit different, the new colors. So I'll show you last year's colors. You can really see that these are a little bit deeper, more subdued, less like bright and rainbow. But really, if you weren't holding them up next to each other, I'm not sure that I would notice. I don't know. I like them both. And then you also have a little accordion pocket in the back with the pattern that matches your box. I will tell you, I love this paper. It hasn't changed, and it can withstand a lot of pens and very little bleeding. It is a smoother paper than, say, like an Erin Condren, but it's not slick. So it does show ridging quite a bit if you're heavy-handed, but it does not bleed very much at all. I do not have the daily. However, the daily has not changed since last year. So if you love, I'll show you last year's daily. This was last year's daily. The covers are totally different, and that's the big part, the big change, but it's still on a standard coil. The pages are exactly the same as they were last year. You'll have the same beautiful week at a glance, this same daily layout where you have your top 3, a time section, a huge to-do list, and then a dot grid here and 3 boxes, a focus and a date. It's undated. It'll be exactly the same as this, except one of the problems that I had with this book, as you can see here, is this cover was so thick that it was really hard to move. Like, it's really hard to move. And I used the 6-month on a coil, and mine just totally shredded. It's the same cover as this. So they have completely upgraded this, and I'm so excited. I didn't get one because I don't plan on using a daily in this way, but it's a thinner one, so it flips just super easily. I have gorgeous colors. I'll put them here. If this is a daily planner that you are interested in, I would highly recommend them now that the covers are so beautiful and thin and easy to use. These were also beautiful, and I actually was so excited about this, but the thick cover just did not work well with this coil, and it always was really frustrating, and I know it frustrated a lot of people. So what I love about MakseLife is they really do listen to their customers, and they heard the complaints and they heard the frustrations, and they made huge upgrades and kept the price very similar. So these daily planners will be $58. They are undated, so what I love about that is you can just use it on the weeks that you need it and set it aside on the weeks you don't and not waste any pages. Because they are $58 for a quarter, if you did want to use them for every week of the year and you needed 4, it would cost you $232 a year, which is a hefty price to pay. But I will say MakseLife is the highest quality planners out there. I really truly believe that. And I do think that although the price is a lot, it's also a beautiful product that you're going to be getting. The new ones will be exactly the same as this, except you will have the new instruction pages and the new colors, and you'll have the new covers. You can also get the MakseLife Daily as an inserts, quarterly inserts, and they cost $44 for a quarter, and that's $176 a year. So a little bit more reasonable if you like disc bound, or you can ask for them punched or unpunched, I believe. So you can use them in your disc bound or in your ring. I used it in a ring last year to try it out a little bit, and I'll post a picture here. So it's a really great layout for those of you who really like to separate your day into sections and your, like things a little bit more organized in your day. And her coil that they have is the highest, like I like it better than the Erin Condren coil. It's just like thick and beautiful, and I love it. Seriously love her coil. Another really exciting thing this year are her companion notebooks. She has upgraded them and made them, again, more gender neutral. I love that she's doing this. This is actually what my husband and I are thinking about using together. If I don't use the flagship, I will buy a second set of these for my husband to use, or he'll use this and I'll use the flagship. I can't decide. But these are so beautiful. This first is the instruction pages that I've walked you through in the flagship. They're exactly the same, and so you can kind of set your yearly goals and have them aside. I actually love the yearly goals being separate and being able to open to your yearly goals and have them sitting there while you're setting your monthly and your weekly goals, and you can kind of keep these in front of you. So I love that this is separate. I wish you could just buy this and keep your yearly goals in this folder with your flagship too, because I just love that being separate. Okay, and then each of these is a quarter of the year. This is the same as the flagship without the weekly pages. So you have the ability in here, you have a monthly page, and then your monthly goals, and then your reflection pages and your weekly actions. So she has a page for you to set your weekly goals each week, and then weekly reflection. So it's all the same pages as the flagship without the planning pages. And this is great for those of you who use, maybe you're a Google document, like you love the Google Calendar, and you're a digital planner, and you just want to set a goal setting system, or you use a completely different planning system and don't want to leave it, and you're loyal, but you want to use the MakseLife goal setting system. This is what you use as a companion to whatever you're using already for planning. I love the colors here. You have this really neutral white creamy color, a gray, the teal and the light blue. So my husband wants to do this with me, and we thought every Sunday we would sit down together and set our goals and have it be something we're doing together. They have beautiful, I don't have last year's anymore. I wish I would have kept them so that I could do a comparison. But last year's covers were similar. They were like a paper, like a really nice cardstock. And this year they're a leatherette cover. So they have like a leather, beautiful, soft feel to them. They really, really are upgraded and beautiful. So this entire set here is $58. They are really lightweight. You would just carry this around at a time, like for the quarter. And really easy to carry around and to add to whatever system you're currently using. And like I said, I think, I don't know, this might be what I'm using. I can't decide. For sure my husband's going to be using this system, and he is really excited about it. Another exciting addition are these reflection books. So these are journal books. You have your daily intentions and your daily reflections. This is to be used at the beginning of the day. This is to be used at the end of the day. Your intentions book, it has, I think there's 60 days worth in here. And every day you'll answer these questions. How am I feeling today? How do I want to feel? What do I need today to feel good? What do I want to attract to myself today? Today I will let go of, say no to. Today I will embrace. Who is someone I want to make mindful connection with today? What is something I can do in 15 minutes or less today that will positively impact my life? And today's mantra or affirmation. So I love the idea of starting off the day with this. This would be great for me on days that I am not working because I'm not sure that I would have time to do this before a 12-hour shift at the hospital. But on the days I'm not working, I love the idea of really being intentional about how I spend my day and how I use my time. This is for the end of the day. So again, you have 60 days worth in here. So 2 months worth of reflections and goals. And how I felt today, energy level, mood. Today I'm grateful for the following: something that brought me joy, today's win, how I grew today I'm proud of myself for, what is something I can do tomorrow to make it a good day. So I love these so much. These are also including all of the other items are available digitally as well. So if you have an iPad, you could write each day using these things. I think after I fill these ones out, I'm going to go digital with my intentions and reflections because I love the idea of having just my iPad by my bedside and filling it out really quick. These are $16 each. They also have that beautiful leatherette cover, and I love the journal prompts. I don't have any to show, but they also have dot grid notebooks that have this leatherette cover, and they're available in white and the turquoise, and they also have 60 pages, and they will be $12 each. Another super exciting addition to the lineup is her folio. So this is magnetic. It's not a really strong magnet though, so if you have this packed full with like all 4 books, I found that it didn't love to close all the way. So I would recommend maybe just keeping 3 books in here, or your 2 reflection books and maybe your goal setting quarterly. And this is a traveler's notebook. These are all A5 size, and this can fit other A5 books. It actually fits a Hobonichi Weeks really nice in here as well if you want to have a Hobonichi plus your goal setting system. It's a nice little companion. But they go in like this, and then you can close and lock, and it just keeps it really, really nice. I wouldn't pack this packet full, but it's so pretty. So let's look inside. By the way, it feels beautiful. This Saffiano leather, I think is what it's called. You have 4 places for cards, another section here, and also here. You have another pocket here, and a pen holder. And just gorgeous. I love the way it feels. I love this color. I wish that they had like that lavender of Cindy's cover in this. I would have loved that. But this one's really nice. And they also have a charcoal, which my husband is interested in. These beautiful folios are $42, which I feel like is a pretty good price for the quality that this is. I love the texture on here. Really, really pretty. Another item that I don't have yet, but I did order, are the Moxie Markers. They are $24. They come in all 8 colors. They match their areas of life, and then also the Moxie Gray. So I'll put a picture up here that you guys can see. I'm really, really excited about that. They are very similar to mild liners, and the quality is nearly identical. They're double-sided. They have a chisel end and a pointed end, and I think you guys are gonna love them if you like color coordinating. They also have the area of life listed on the pen, so if you like to color coordinate your week with the different areas of life, it's nice that you'll be able to just look at the pen and know what it is for, because I forget the colors with the different areas too. Another new addition is their Stencil Bookmark. I'm not a big stencil person. I would rather just draw a not perfect square than pull out a stencil, but I love the idea of it being a marker or a bookmark, and that it's right there for you anyway. It's not too heavy. A lot of these metal bookmarks just kind of hold down the page and pull it down because it's just a heavy thing. But I love the way this works and looks. Here, we'll try it out. Here's my notes for this video. So These are great for dot grid. One of the problems with stencils that I have is I just am not good at stenciling. I feel like I mess it up more than it helps, but I love squares. I love doing circles, but it's like the hearts. I mess up on the hearts. So I like using, this is funny, but I like using ballpoint pens when I'm using a stencil because I feel like gel pens will get like, they'll puddle. So my favorite, I don't love ballpoint pens, but my favorite ballpoint pen are the what are these called? The Uni Jetstreams. They work really nice. And they have cute little flags down here. Yeah. Anyway, it's really cute. It works really nice. See, that would bug me that it's not straight. I would rather just draw it myself, but I love it, love it, love it for the circles and for these boxes. I probably would only use this one, and this one, these two. Yeah. Stencils aren't my thing. But, oh, another thing I was really excited about. This is actually what's supposed to hold it to the page. Like that. And you can see that it's really going, it might leave like an indentation in your page if you were to smash your book down. Can you see that it left like a circle indentation there? You can see it. So I might not use it for that, but I think this would be so cute to like draw a circle at the top of a box like that. This stencil bookmark is $12. It is super nice quality, 2.5 inches wide, 8 inches high. There is not a ruler on it, but I think it is, I think that people are going to be super excited about this. And yeah, I really, really like it too, but I probably will only use it for these and maybe the rectangles. Other things that I do not have to show you here are a weekly overview sticky notepad. There are 60 sheets. It is A5 size and it is $10. Last year they had a daily notepad. They will still have that. And a really exciting thing that they're bringing for anyone who orders before October 24th. Mine has a little smudge. I did that, not MakseLife. But you will receive the 2022 year-end reflections. This is something that Sierra said she felt like was missing from the system, was just a year-end reflection. So in this, it's basically just like a little workbook, a little journal page. You can do your final compass for the year and do from current to the start of 22, compare how the year went in a whole, your wins, your highlights, your challenges, your lessons, your growth, your gratitude, what's working, what's not working, impact adjustments, reflection questions. Here's some more reflection questions. A letter to me. I love that she does this. Basically, you're writing from your future self to your current self. And you can refer back to this in 2023, and I love this book. If you don't get your order in before October 24th, you can buy this, purchase it separately, and it is $8. So it's a great little booklet. So that is all the new stuff that I have. They will have some items available for purchase that they had last year. You can get their 6-month undated on a coil. With the same covers that they had last year. And those are only while supplies last. The 6-month undated goal setting weekly inserts are also available and while supplies last. The teal dot grid notebooks, these are their older notebooks and they will have this available. They're just dot grid in the inside. This is the gray one and this will be available, this will be available for a while, but the teal ones are only while supplies last. They're trio bookmarks that say this week, monthly goals, and my vision. And these are only while supply lasts, but they will be available for purchase. They also have some magnetic bookmarks. I have them somewhere, but I couldn't find them. They're adhesive pen loops. So they look like this and you can add them to your books and they have adhesive on the back. They have hourly washi as well as this dot washi. These will be available. They have their expandable pen pouch as well, which I love, and I use this every day. It goes down like this, and then you can see all your pens and it can just stand on its own. I love keeping this on my desktop. And they also have their little habit trackers that you can buy on a post-it note. So they're really, really nice. And they have some other items you can check out as well, but they're all things that were available last year. That was probably more information than you ever wanted to know about the new MakseLife release, but I am so excited about it. It has completely turned my set-in planner stack upside down. I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I really love these. I really love this. I just can't decide. And I will let you know when I do. But thanks so much for watching. Let me know what you're going to pick up. I do have a link below if you are interested in purchasing. I would really appreciate if you would click the link, and I hope you have an amazing day. I'll talk to you soon. See you. Bye.